Hey, vinyl community, Elliot here, Lazy Dogs Records, and I've got a little mishmash video I want to share with you today. First of all, I hope everybody had a pleasant Thanksgiving, and just before Thanksgiving, I was able to take advantage of a nice offer on Amazon. I don't know if the deal's still going on, but they were offering a uh, buy buy two get a third free records albums, and I took advantage of that. I ended up getting 6 albums, so for the price of 4, I got 6. Average down, they're always going to charge you for the most expensive. So the most expensive was about 26, the least expensive about 20. So average down to around $17 a record, I suppose, something along those lines. Don't buy a huge amount of new records, but I do buy some, so I thought I'd share with you. Now, they came in piecemeal, of course. 2 of them this time, 3 of them this time, 1 of them. The last one I was waiting for, finally. It took them about 2 weeks to get here. The others got here within about 2 or 3 days. But the last one I got in, I haven't cleaned this one yet. I always clean my new records. Quality control is not what it used to be. This second album from Warren Zevon, self-titled. Great album. This is 180 gram, which, is a gimmick. But it's from Music on Vinyl. Put this out. This was produced by Jackson Brown, his friend Jackson Brown. And this one's got Hasten Down the Wind on it. Poor Pitiful Me, both of which Linda Ronstadt did. The French Inhaler's on here. Desperados Under the Eaves. Carmelita. Woo. I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, Mohammed's Radio, which is another Linda Ronstadt did. A lot of really good tunes on here. Nothing special about the vinyl. Again, it's Asylum Records, put out by Music on Vinyl, just the black. And so I was really glad to get that. And another I got, and this is one I've really been impressed with. Ella Fitzgerald, The Lost Berlin Tapes. Great, 2 records. Concert in 1962 in Berlin. She had done an album, one of her most successful, Mac the Knife, Live in Berlin, I believe it was called, in 1960. Won a Grammy, I believe. And they found these 58 years later. She returned to Berlin in 62 and the same venue. And they found these tapes after 58 years. It had been sealed in storage. And they were able to to press this album on Verve. 52 years later, the owner of the record label of Verve, who had passed away, it was in some of his artifacts, or some of his possessions. And then, I always like the Byrds. I have a little bit of Gene Clark, like Dillard and Clark and stuff. I've never really thought that much about Gene Clark, I hate to say, until the vinyl community. And where several people in the vinyl community have just spoken so highly about his solo work. So I was able to get this in that deal. Gene Clark with the Gosden brothers, Rex and Vern. And of course, Vern would go on and have a lot of success in country music in the 1970s and into the 80s, I believe. So I got that. That's a really good album. I've listened to all these except for the Warren Zevon, which I'm familiar with already. I had it on CD. And I got this one kind of on a lark. And I really like this new acoustic music, I guess maybe you'd call this. Yo-Yo Ma and Chris Till and let's see, Edgar Meyer and Stuart Duncan. They called this the Goat Rodeo Sessions. This was from like 2013 or so. Beautiful. It's actually got a little bit of vocals in it, not a lot. The vocals to me are afterthought music like this, but just some really beautiful stuff using the cello, the double bass, the mandolin, and the violin. Really good stuff. And this is not the most recent remastering or repress of John Coltrane, I Love Supreme. This is one that it goes back, I think it was a 2009 pressing or reissue, but this was pressed in 2015, I believe. But it's from that repressing. And I really like this. Now, I've heard people say that there's a really great remastered Love Supreme that's better than this that came out this year, last year. So they said you could quickly identify this one is a little bit lighter, and the most recent one that's pressing is the black or the dark is more is darker, blacker. This is more of a grayish color. And what initially helped me discover that they were running this buy two get a third free was I got an email from Amazon and said this might be something you're interested in. Exile on Main Street. I've always had this as CD, never had the original vinyl album. So this is a repressing, obviously, of that from 2010. It's, was advertised as a reissue, remaster, 180 gram remaster from UME and Rolling Stone Records. So, that's the classic Rolling Stones album. You don't have any other Rolling Stone, probably Exile on Main Street's the one you need. So those are my 6 albums I picked up from Amazon on that buy two get the third free deal. Used record is not expensive. That you usually find it for a few bucks. This is maybe my 3rd or 4th copy of this. Not that I have them all in my possession now. I've given them to other people and things like that. But I've got a good clean copy. But this is going to kind of be my backup. Don't you hate it when you get a used record and I always hold my breath when it's a multi-disc, and this Will the Circle Be Unbroken from the Degree Dirt Band is what I'm talking about here, of course. Always hold my breath. This is a 3-record set, so I always hold my breath when I'm playing those that they'll all play clean. Of course, the first record, which don't you hate it when they do it back, set it up where it's. They made it for back when we had the loaders on the old console record players and the old portable record players. You could stack the records. In this case, it's side 1, and on the other side, side 6. The other record's side 2, and the other side, side 5. And the other side, side 3, and the other side, side 4. So you could stack 1, 2, 3, and they would drop one at a time without you having to get up and change it. And then you just take all 3 back up and flip them over. And of course, think about how much surface scratching you get from them sitting on top of each other and all the other negatives to that. But nobody has used that type of system anymore that I know of. So you play side 1, and I'm not going to go get another one of the records out to play side 2. I'm going to flip it over and play side 6, so you don't get the sequence that the record was intended to be listened to at. You have to make a big effort if you're going to. But don't you hate when you have multiple records in one album and you play side 1 and you flip it over and play the next side, It plays great. Hey, this is a very good plus. Get the second record, play the first side, flip it over, play the other side. This is great. Yes, all right. Yeah, this is a good clean. This is a very good plus. Maybe very good in a couple of spots, but still real strong. And then I get the third record out, and the third song on the third record, and all of a sudden you've got one of those sticks where it won't get off of it. It's stuck, you know. And not even, I can deal with a little tiny skip if it runs through it and it skips a little teeny section, but it keeps on playing around. I hate it when it's that stick. Doop, doop, doop. Well, the third record, first side on the third record. So I'll have to put this aside. I know some people say that they can get in there and they can fix that stick, and I'd love for people to comment. Rachel says she can do it. I've tried it a couple of times. I've never been I've never been successful at all in doing it. So anybody that can do that, please let me know what the trick to that is. Maybe I need one of those big magnifying glasses that you hang on an extension, and you bring it down and you can see it, magnify it many, many times or whatever. I don't know, so I was real disappointed with that. Okay. And the last thing I'll share with you, a friend of mine, one of my best friends, we've been friends since we were tiny, like 4 years old when they moved to my hometown. We've been, our mothers were college friends. We've been friends all our life. We've kept our friendship going all these years. Well, my friend Malcolm knows how much I enjoy collecting records and everything. So he pulled his records out of storage. One of his daughters, or maybe both of his daughters, have started listening to records. So he pulled them out and brought them to me. I talked to him about it before, and I said, "You bring them to me, and I'll clean them up." And he's like, "Well, you probably I'll just give And we've gone back and forth. I said, "No, I'm gonna clean them up for you, get them in good shape, let you know what they're worth, and give them back to you, and you'll have them. Now, if they're gonna sit there forever and you're not gonna ever use them, and you want me to give them to me later, because they never get used, that's fine. But what I'd really rather see is for my friend to set up another system and at home and start playing again. But first of all, he brought me his parents' old 78s, Benny Goodman. There's some Bob Wilson, Texas Playboys in there. And he and his sister Alice's records, 45s, that were like Disney and Donald Duck and things like that. And some other 45s that are in neat little cases. I'm not going to show all of them because I don't want this to run too long. But these are the records that we were listening to, his records. I remember these. I remember being at his house when we were 16, 17, 15 years old and playing these records out on his little stereo. Of course, the Eagles on the Border. Some of these are pretty valuable, but it shows what great taste my friend Malcolm had. Doors. I'm going to just go through these. Here's one. How about that? The Beatles, the White Album. Jerry Jeff. We used to love Jerry Jeff. We'd go see Jerry Jeff. Got 2 copies of this. This is our local Christian group that when in the 1960s. All these people are a little bit older than me. None of them were my contemporary. They're like, 3, 5 years older, that range. They played for a long time. They were called the Good News Singers. And there's my friend that gave me these records. That's his sister, right there, Alice. And let's see. There's The Who. I remember this record. I remember listening to this record at his house. B.B. King at Cook County Jail. Allman Brothers live at Fillmore East. Ray Price, Nightlife. See, very eclectic taste. The Clash. Yeah. Steely Dan. Charlie Daniels, Fire on the Mountain. Rolling Stones, Emotional Rescue. Meaty Beaty. How's it go? The Who. Meaty Beaty, Big and Bouncy. A really good compilation record. There's Give Me Back My Bullets. Of course, we were right in that, Leonard Skinner hit right as we were getting into high school. So imagine we often had those records. There's a Pickwick from Willie. We all had this record. That's another Pickwick. You could pick this up, fairly cheaply, reissue, back when we were teenagers. I told Malcolm when he brought these over, I said, we both had the two same Ozark Mountain Daredevils, that Don't Look Down, and of course what they call the Crazy Quilt album, the self-titled first album. We both had both those records, and none of the others. There's a Mickey Gilley. And getting a little more contemporary, there's the Cars. Contemporary, that's not contemporary at all, but it was for us. He probably picked that up when he was, in college or something. We were big Graham Parsons. Malcolm and I went to see, along with a couple of other friends of ours, the Flying Burrito Brothers, not with Graham Parsons, not with Chris Hillman, but one of the later versions. Look, he's got pronounced Leonard Skinner. That hit our junior year in high school, senior year in high school. So you can imagine how big that was. I remember this album at his house, Last of the Red Hot Burritos. There's the live Leonard Skinner. The Bob Seger System, Rambling Gambling Man. And all his records were in really good shape. Now, they've been in storage a long time. We love Commander Cody. And he had this album, and I had another Commander Cody album. So we each had some Commander Cody, but we didn't have the same record, so we could go to each other's houses and listen to something we didn't have. There's another Charlie Daniels. Pretty much everybody had this. Some of us had it on the 8-track. Some of us had it on the album. There's another Willie, another Pickwick from Willie. Just kind of they put out some music from him. We were big Waylon fans. There's his greatest hits. We were big Emmylou Harris fans. And Little Feat, Wait for Columbus. What a great album that is. So you can see Malcolm has some great records. So I'm going to clean them up for him. I'll listen to them, play grade them for him, and I'll put them in used sleeves and everything. And it's just a fun little thing to do for a friend. And he'll know what he has, and hopefully maybe between he and his daughters, they'll get played and loved again a whole lot. Okay, well, that's just kind of a little mishmash stuff I thought I'd share with you while I had a little time this afternoon to do a little something. Some deals at Amazon. Keep your eyes out for those buy two get a third free album deals. Question about getting a stick out of a used record. Is maybe somebody can answer for me, and I'm expressing my disappointment there, that happening. And I look at my friend Malcolm, what he brought me Saturday, I guess it was, so I can clean them up for him and get them back to him so he can start enjoying vinyl once again. Okay, everybody, that'll do it. Remember, be kind to your neighbors, because we're all neighbors. Have a good holiday season.